Hello class 3, good morning. Okay, so today I'm going to teach chapter 8 English. Okay, English chapter 8, the tale of Peter Rabbit part B. In previous class I have taught you the tale of Peter Rabbit, part A, no? So today I'm going to discuss or teach you the tale of Peter Rabbit part B. Okay, page number 72. Can you please open to page number 72 from English book? Page number 72. Okay. So listen carefully. Okay. So in part A we have known that we came to know that Peter Rabbit was very naughty and he entered into Mr. McGregor's garden. Now he was inside the garden and he is eating whatever he is finding in the garden. He is eating that things. No. Now in part B, we will discuss as he was inside the garden, he could not come out because when he is going round the garden and he saw round end of what? Cucumber. And there, who is sitting there? Mr. McGregor was sitting there. Okay? So Mr. McGregor was walking there inside the garden, in his garden, okay, planting what? So many fruits, so many vegetables. And what happened? Mr. McGregor was on his hand and knees planting what? Young cabbage. He's planting what? Mr. McGregor was planting cabbage. So Peter Rabbit could not come out from that garden because Mr. McGregor was sitting near the gate planting cabbage. So when Peter Rabbit saw, when Mr. McGregor saw Peter Rabbit, he told him to stop. But what happened? Peter Rabbit got very frightened, okay? Because Peter knows that if he was caught by Mr. McGregor, then he will be punished by Mr. McGregor like his father. No? So, he was frightened, okay? That's why he is running here and there around the garden. So what happened? And Peter forgot the way. Which way to come out, which way is the gate, okay? That's why now Peter Rabbit was running around the garden, okay? So he lost one of his shoes, okay, among the cabbage. Peter Rabbit got lost one of his shoes among the cabbage and other shoes among the potatoes, okay? He's running here and there around the garden, okay? That's why he lost one of his shoes among the cabbage and another amongst the potatoes. He kept running and into a gooseberry net, okay? And his jacket was stuck there, okay? He could not pull out, okay? So what he did? It was a blue color jacket, okay, with brass button. It is quite new. So he left that jacket also, okay, inside the garden. So Mr. McGregor came out with a sieve, okay, like stick, okay, for like spade, okay, for working in the garden. So he tried to pop upon Peter, but he just left his jacket and ran, okay? Peter left his jacket and he ran into the garden and he rushed into tools shed, okay? It is a shed where tools are keeping. That house is called tool shed, okay? He ran into that house, okay, tool shed house, and there he jammed into a can, okay, like big drum for putting so many things, okay? So he jumped into that can and what happened? Inside the can there was water was there, full of water. So When Mr. McGregor was searching for Peter, he jumped into that can and Mr. McGregor was searching for Peter inside the garden, but he could not find because Peter jumped into a can and that can was full of water. So as he was feeling inside that can, Peter was feeling uncomfortable because that can was filled with water and his clothes got wet. Okay, he was feeling uncomfortable because his clothes were wet and he could not come out from that can also, because he knows that if he will come out from that can, then Mr. McGregor will catch him and punish him. No, that's why he could not come out from there. That's why he is staying inside that can. Okay, after a time he began to wander. Okay, so after coming out from that can, Peter was wandering here and there, looking which way he could come out from that garden. Okay, so suddenly he climbed into where? Suddenly he heard a sound. Okay, screech. Okay, screech, scratch, scratch, screech. Okay, he heard a sound, screech, scratch, scratch, screech. That's why Peter scuttled underneath the bushes. Again, he entered into the bushes by hearing that sound. Okay, and he waited there inside the bush for a long time. Okay, to let Mr. McGregor go outside the garden. He is waiting there, and after waiting for a long time, he came out. Okay, Peter Rabbit came out and climbed where? In wheelbarrow and looking, peeping, okay, over. For the first time he saw that Mr. McGregor was hoeing onions. Okay, now Mr. McGregor, he saw that Mr. McGregor was hoeing onions. Okay, have you understood the story? It is very interesting, no? So Peter was very naughty. That's why he is suffering now. He could not come out from Mr. McGregor's garden because Mr. McGregor was searching for him inside the garden. No? So if we are so naughty, it might happen to you also. So be careful, okay? So be gentle. Okay? So now we can say, where do Peter Rabbit lose his shoes? He lost one of his shoes into the cupboards and other in the amongst the potatoes. No? Yes. So he lost his blue jacket also. Why was he got wet? Why was Peter Rabbit got wet? Because he jammed into a can. That can is what? Which is full of water. That's why he got wet. No? So have you understood the story? Yeah. So in next class we will finish. Okay, I will discuss the tale of Peter Rabbit part 3 in next class. Okay, so enough for today. Okay, so thank you class, see you in next class.